Greetings, captains, and welcome to this X-Plane 11 video. Today, we're going to be taking at the long-awaited, highly anticipated SkyMaxPro version 4. If you are an existing customer of SkyMaxPro version 3, you should have received a discount for 50% off SkyMaxPro version 4. Real Weather Connector has also been updated to version 1.1, and it is a free upgrade. This is going to be a first impressions video of SkyMaxPro version 4, and hopefully by the end of this week and during the weekend I will be posting a video doing a full comparison between SkyMaxPro version 4 and x-Enviro. This has been a popular request. A lot of you have sent me messages requesting that I do this video. So hopefully today you'll receive the first impressions or my first impressions of SkyMaxPro version 4, and hopefully by the end of the week we'll do the full-fledged comparison between the two plugins. Now, one thing to note, and it's very important to note, is that x-Enviro is an environment engine. Okay, so it has weather generation, weather representation, and environment, meaning the ambience. The sounds are also included. SkyMaxPro version 4 is a weather representation system. It uses the internal weather system of X-Plane to depict weather inside the simulator. So with that said, let's go ahead and take off and take a look at SkyMaxPro version 4. Okay, parking brake is released, flaps are set for departure, and let's go. Full power. The raindrops look pretty good, and those are the SkyMaxPro version 4 raindrops. Alright, I think we can depart now. Now for the sky colors, I'm using the same sky colors I used to use in X-Plane 10. Alright, let's switch to external view. Okay, I think the rain is visible. Not sure if you guys can see it. I can slightly see it here on the screen. Let me change the time a bit here. Alright, here we go. Let's track the flaps. Alright, so obviously it's pretty stormy. We are, by the way, in Munich, and it's quite stormy here. Alright, so here are the clouds, which look okay. Here's now, I think you can see the rain now more visible here. Now, in terms of the clouds, I think I'm a little disappointed, to be frank. I was expecting something a little more dramatic, a little more realistic, and these clouds look like the ones that we're used to in SkyMaxPro version 3. Maybe they're a little different, maybe the shapes are different, but overall, they look pretty much like the ones in X-Plane, in SkyMaxPro version 3. Alright, let me switch back to the cockpit. Alright, here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to travel through the cloud. Let me just increase the time here. Yeah. And I'm going to try to travel through the clouds to see what effect we get. Alright, here we go. Change the speed back to normal. And we are traveling through the cloud now. A little different than version 3, but not a lot different. So the So the smoothness of the clouds as we travel through them has been slightly improved, in my opinion, but not a major improvement over what we used to get in version 3. All right, let me go ahead and switch to external view now. And as we're going through the clouds here, now this is a pretty nice looking scene. It looks pretty convincing, pretty realistic. I'm not sure about the clouds again, the fine clouds here and here. That doesn't look very realistic, but the overall look and feel, I think it has been improved. Performance, I'm happy to report, it has been improved indeed. You know what, let's go ahead and just quickly bring up the frame rates. Alright, so we can see the frames now. I'm getting about 30 something frames, and I'll show you the settings in a minute, but that's looking pretty okay to me. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and take a look at the clouds from a higher altitude. You know what, let's go ahead to 20,000 feet. Something we shouldn't do in this aircraft, but there we go. Alright. Alright, now that is something that I'm accustomed to, and it's looking exactly like SkyMaxPro version 3. I don't really see a difference. Alright. Okay, let's try to change the time a bit. I'm not sure what that is, but that's not looking very good. Let's go ahead and do nighttime. Alright, so I guess that... I'm not sure if this is the lights of the aircraft. It looks like it is, and that is not very realistic. Okay, so that is something that needs fixing, because I'm not sure also about this green bluish color here, but the light should not reflect on the clouds in that way. Okay, so that is not very realistic. It's not done very well, in my opinion. Alright, so we have now moved to one of the most famous locations in flight simulation, no other than Innsbruck in Austria. And as you can see, the area is a bit cloudy, and let me just go ahead and zoom all the way up here. Alright, so in terms of the cloud representation, again, I think it's a bit of a disappointment as far as I'm concerned. I was really expecting something different. The clouds do look different, so I think there is more variation in terms of the cloud shapes, but the clouds aren't really looking very realistic in my opinion. They are pretty much what we're used to in SkyMaxPro version 3. I really can't see that big of a difference between how things were represented in SkyMaxPro version 3 versus what I'm seeing now here in version 4. It does look alright. It does look pretty convincing. Especially when you're flying near the clouds, as we saw earlier in the video. But in terms of what it brings, what the overall look and feel isn't really that different from version 3. That's my opinion. Okay, so we are ready to depart Innsbruck, and let's go ahead and set maximum power. By the way, the sky colors, for the sky colors, I'm using the same set that I use in X-Plane 10, which is the Ultra Weather XP version 1.5 set 1 by Abdullah Al-Muntasir. Okay, positive rates, gear up. Let me just pitch here, about 10-degree pitch. We are now at about 21,000 feet, and I pause the sim so that we can look at things in a little more detail. Now, in terms of the cloud representation, as you can see, it looks okay. It looks pretty good. I don't really see that big of a difference between version 4 and version 3. To me, it looks pretty much the same. The cloud shapes have changed, but other than that, the actual, the texturing of the clouds is pretty much the same. So there's no change there whatsoever. Another thing that I've noticed is if the draw distance is not set to maximum, you will experience exactly the same problem that you've had in version 3, which is the clouds will be loaded around the vicinity where the aircraft is flying, and then beyond that there will be nothing. Okay, as you can see, it's completely clear skies in this area right over there, and as you fly, probably the clouds will start popping. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump back here, and let's unpause the sim, and let's try to just make our way. We are actually at 24,000 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a turn here and try to head to this area where there are clear skies and see what happens. All right, let me go ahead and fast forward the sim. Okay, and now as you can see, the clouds started popping in this area. Okay, now it's pretty smooth, but I think the same issue that we've had in X-Plane in version 3 of SkyMaxPro is still there. As you can see now, you see how the clouds are forming in front of the aircraft. Okay, now it's not as abrupt as it used to be in version 3, so that's a big improvement. Now you can see more clouds over there. Okay, but the same issue is there. Okay, which is something I really expected to be fixed in this version of SkyMaxPro. But as you can see now you can see more clouds popping in the area. They're clearer now. So the draw distance, now you see more clouds over there. So the draw distance, unless it is set to maximum, you will end up with the same issue in version 3, which is clouds popping right in front of the aircraft, which is extremely unrealistic. Okay. All right, so there's one more thing that I want to do, which is I want to show you guys, what things look like in a stormy weather. You know what? Before we do that, let me just change the time here and see what the clouds look like at night. All right, let me switch to external view. Now that looks pretty nice. All right, as you can see, clear skies over there, and the cloud colors look pretty okay. And I'm not sure what this color is. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Is this a reflection from the lights of the aircraft again? I don't know, but that looks, I don't know, very unrealistic. We are now situated at Lima Echo Lima Charlie in Spain, and this is an area where supposedly there are major thunderstorms, very heavy rain, and as you can see, we can see the precipitation. Let's go ahead and bring up the map, and let's see, cloud and precipitation. As you can see, some pretty bad weather around the area where we are. So that's, ooh, look at that. So it's pretty bad weather. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off, and I want to see how the aircraft behaves in this weather. Now my hunch is that we should get, some turbulent weather, and maybe we won't be able to take off because of this bad weather. But because SkyMaxPro uses the internal weather engine of X-Plane, so it really manipulates how the weather looks. It doesn't really generate any weather. So let's go ahead and set our flaps to 10 degrees, and everything else appears to be okay. The parking brake is released, and let's go ahead and give it full power. And the aircraft is turning. Alright, let's see what happens now. Okay, I'm already finding it very difficult to keep the aircraft straight. We're at 60 knots. Let's rotate. Alright. Now, as you saw on the map, so this is the map. We are in an area of very heavy turbulence. And let me see here. I really can't see. Alright. Everything appears now to be... Oh, there's you saw that thunderstorm. So, yeah, we're having an issue now. Alright, so we are entering the area now of really bad weather, and I'm finding it extremely hard to control the aircraft. And we're probably going to crash pretty soon, as this weather is not suitable for, for departure. Whether IFR or, says, what does it say, flap over speed. Okay, so we've ruined the flaps, I think. Let's go ahead and take a look at the settings of SkyMaxPro version 4. In terms of the real weather connector, nothing really has changed in terms of the settings, so it is the same menu that you're accustomed to in the previous version, version 1. But SkyMaxPro itself has changed a bit, and now there is a new option to configure precipitation. So this function really allows you to change the precipitation style, the behavior, as well as the appearance. So if you want to add brightness to it, you want to increase the size, the snowflake size, you can do this here. You can sync the precipitation with the real weather connector so that rain would start and stop according to the real life conditions. Randomly rotate 3D snowflakes. And again, in the precipitation style, you can either select streaks, simulates the camera motion. I think this was apparent in the beginning of the video when we took off from Munich. You saw the raindrops coming into the windshield. Or you can select that the rain is not affected by the camera motion, and this is probably not very realistic, but the option is there. You can also use the default X-Lane built-in precipitation only. Now these are the version 4, SkyMaxPro version 4 rain is 3D, or it's claimed to be in 3D. So it might have a hit on frames. I didn't really notice a hit on frames with the 3D rain. But you can definitely use X-Plane's default if that's your preference. In terms of the SkyMaxPro menu, I think it's pretty much, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. So go SkyMax, configure clouds. Now this displays the menu that we're accustomed to. And again, I really like this feature where it tells you how much VRAM and RAM you've got. So I have about 900 MB of video and 25 MB of system RAM free. The cumulus cloud appearance, again, this is the cloud area covered. Now, I've played with this a bit before doing this video, and the most realistic representation of weather can be achieved only when the slider is set to max. But there is a big performance hit when you do that. So if you set the slider to max, you can expect, I went down to 11 frames from normally 46 to 50 frames while up in the air. So it went all the way to 11 frames. Imagine that. The rest of the stuff is really the same. Really nothing has changed. Everything is the same. So if you'd like to know a little more about these settings, you can visit my previous videos on SkyMaxPro, because really nothing has changed here. Well, captains, overall, I tell you, I've been really waiting for SkyMaxPro version 4 to come out, and let me tell you, I'm somewhat disappointed because I expected something a little more dramatic, a little more refined, I guess, in terms of weather representation. And what I really saw in this version of SkyMaxPro is very slight improvements over SkyMaxPro version 3. Now, this is my personal opinion. You don't really have to agree with me, and probably the weather can look much better on on newer machines. So my PC is now an aging monster, as I call it. So it might look better on other machines, but it's a very capable PC that I have. And in terms of, just really what I was expecting that I would really have that wow factor. When SkyMaxPro version 3 came out with the real weather connector, it was the wow factor. And I cannot say that I felt the same really flying with SkyMaxPro version 4. So it's definitely at par with version 3, but I personally don't feel that the updates are noticeable, for one. Yes, a few things have changed. The cloud shapes have changed. Performance has been improved for sure, because I used to get really very bad frames at about 10 square kilometers of cloud coverage. So now I'm at 20 and I'm doing just fine. But again, the same issues that I used to experience in version 3 are still there in version 4. This is, of course, my first impressions. I always allow my first impressions to change. Stay tuned for a full comparison video between X-Enviro, which is, by the way, growing on me, and SkyMaxPro version 4 this coming weekend. Captains, I hope that you've enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. I hope that this was a fair first impressions video of SkyMaxPro version 4. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye for now.